Hey guys, this is Hell Hades. This is a Raid Shadow Legends video. Guys, we've got some legendary champion buffs coming in the next patch. 2 of them to be precise. And we're going to have a look through them now and see if it makes the champions a bit more legendary. One of them I've got on my main account. 5-star, ascended. He's looking like a brute, apart from he doesn't really cut the mustard. So we're going to go through these 2 champions now, see what we think of the changes. And I guess, yeah, see whether we think they're going to get out of the vault or not. We're going to start here with one of the wimpiest looking orcs in the land. Nodgar the Headhunter. He had his moment of fame for about the first 2 hours that Sand Devil existed. He had the ability to remove a whole ton of the Sand Devil's health, and people farmed Sand Devil like lunatics for that like 2-hour period before Raid fixed it. So Nodgar, outside of that, doesn't get a lot of love. Interestingly though, Saf's just sent me some clips around how he interacts right now. So I've not really used this guy a lot. And I wonder if he could end up being pretty damn sweet for live arena. We'll see. So what's going on then? So Nodgar the Headhunter, A1 attacks an enemy, heals himself by 10% of his HP, gets another turn if he kills someone. His A2 Gore Feast attacks all enemies. After attacking, this champion sacrifices half his health, half of his max health. So if he's on 25% health, he'll sacrifice still half of his max health and just kill himself. Then he places 2 heals on himself, and the HP sacrifice happens even if he kills himself. So his damage here is based on attack and HP. It's a very weird kit that he's got right now. His A3 sacrifices HP equal to half of his health, then equalizes health with the target enemy. The HP levels of both this champion and the target will be brought down to the level of the one with the lowest HP. Okay, so basically what you're doing is like we'll combine our health and then we're gonna go down to whoever's got the lowest. This is potentially crazy against tanks. So it's a bit of a weird interaction. I'm going to show you the interaction as it works right now, because this is actually quite interesting. So thanks to Saf for doing this little pre-recording for us here. But you're going to see it happen right now. He's going to go after the Duchess. Disability here. You see what happened there? They basically switched. They did the HP balance, and then they were both brought down to basically 1 HP. Yeah, so the wording of the skill doesn't quite, in my opinion, give you the understanding of what's going to actually happen. If this dude's in frenzy gear, then he can actually ramp up turns really quick because he's losing so much HP. So that's how it works today. And then his passive gets a revive, gets 50% HP and turn meter if everyone else is alive. So you can imagine Nodgar doing these silly shenanigans, but with a group of stone skin allies that are slow, and basically he's reviving with some turn meter and he can kind of get back into the mix. But his kit's just a bit wonky as it is right now. So let's talk about how he's going to change, because I think the change is pretty significant actually. So the new skill will read, attacks all enemy. After attacking, sacrifices HP equal to 50% of their current HP. This is on the A2. Then places 1 continuous heal on all allies. So not 2 on himself, 1 on all allies. The HP sacrifice will happen even if it kills his champion. So this part of the skill is not too different. It's a bit of a nerf, I would say, because he's not getting as much healing regeneration. But he is casting it on all allies rather than just placing it on this champion. Okay, not a massive change though, but the second skill does get quite a significant change. So the A3 here, Last Rites, basically does the same initial part of the skill that we just saw, where you get to try and drop someone's HP, 1 target, but you get an extra turn. So you cycle this extra turn, which means that you can just take out whoever you just lowered their HP down to 0, which is kind of nuts. The HP level, blah, blah, blah. Yeah, it's the same. So the rest of it's the same, but gets an extra turn is pretty significant. Okay, if you then add that to the change on his passive, and on the passive here, he revives with full turn meter, not 50% turn meter, full turn meter if everyone else is alive. So potentially, if you put him in frenzy gear, you could be cycling skills like a madman, doing an AoE hit followed by the drop of enemy HP, get another turn, come in, kill that enemy. If you kill an enemy with your A1, you get an extra turn. I mean, this is on a 7-turn cooldown, so I guess it's not going to be like you can just do it over and over again, but damn, in the right gear set, this dude could be absolutely popping off and taking down a whole bunch of enemies. So the change, he's still going to have a very difficult to understand kit on paper, but I think he might actually come out of the vault, at least for some interesting testing. Pretty much an arena champion, but I guess could work in like high level Doom Tower hard waves, that type of stuff. He's definitely not a boss champion, not a boss killer, but definitely an interesting change to his kit. That's one. The other dude is also an orc, Gomlock Sky High. This is something that you can get from Doom Tower as you go up. So again, on paper, this guy's kit's not bad. He's got Leech on the A1. He's got stealing buffs on the A2, so he steals a couple of random buffs. Also a chance of dropping turn meter. This is booked up to, 100%. Dropping turn meter. Steals the turn meter instead if he's got full health. So I do use him actually, or I have used him in my Dark Fae teams because of this skill. It's pretty good. He's also got here an AoE drop defense and weaken. So that part of his kit already works on a 4-turn. And then he's got this passive. Whenever there's 4 or more buffs placed on an enemy in a single turn, gets a shield. Okay. But what's going on with this dude? So Fateful Trickster is a skill that's changing here. So still attacks one enemy. Books up to, let me just check that. 60, yeah, 100%. 100% chance of stealing all buffs from a target. 100% chance of taking all of the buffs away from one target. Is that good enough? Also, 100% chance of stealing half of the max turn meter from a target. Again, I think this change is being aimed at, can we get this guy in the arena? The rest of his kit is not very arena focused because, you know, debuffs are not that useful with polymorph rife everywhere. And, you know, this kind of feels like it's a wave-based kit. This feels kind of like boss setup. And then this feels like it's kind of PvP. I guess you could argue that this stealing of buffs, 100% chance to steal all buffs, could be used in Hydra, could be used in Doom Tower waves. Does it do enough to change him into a playable character? Well, I guess he's already playable. Don't get me wrong, he's playable. It just feels like compared to other champions doing the same type of thing, he's a little bit weak sauce based on the time that you get him in the game. Let's just have a quick look at the change to his passive as well. It's the only other change that's going to happen to this dude. Whenever 4 or more buffs are placed on a single, on the enemy team in a single turn, gives him a 30% shield instead of a 15% shield. So again, it feels like the changes are aimed at making him a bit more relevant for the arena, taking all of the buffs off of one enemy. I guess with something like Stone Skin, it's still going to be a 50-50, even though it's a 100% chance of stealing those buffs, it's still a 50-50. But I'll tell you what, you steal Stone Skin, that's pretty damn broken. I don't know, guys. What do you think? Is Gomlock going to get any playtime? And what do you think about the Nodgar change? I'd say the Nodgar change feels strong to me, but the Gomlock change, I'm not sure that's enough to get him into a meta somewhere, unless they were really kind of like adapting his damage and stuff as well. There you go, guys. I've been Hell Hades. I'll see you later.